did a little swatch for you. So I just did, I've got 23 DC on the bottom row, then I have got 23 single crochet, and then the pattern calls for 2 DC in the first 2 stitches. So I've chained 1, I'm not counting that. So I have 1 DC in the first stitch, 1 DC in the second stitch, and then we start our front post around the DC from the round below. So make sure you're going into the right post. So I'm going around, so there's 1, 2, this is the third, so that should be the post that you're going around. And then it says DC into the next stitch, so make sure that you're missing that stitch, that single crochet from above, where above the post of where your front post is, and then we've got to go into the next one for the DC. So that'll be the next single crochet, but we've got to go down to the post, so we've got to skip 1. That's the next stitch there. DC into the next, so we make sure that we've skipped 1 behind, because the skip 1 behind is where that front post went. And I've got to skip 1 post, front post around the next, DC into the next single crochet. So maybe you were not going into the right stitch there, I'm not sure. Front post around the next, DC in the next single crochet, front post DC in the next, DC in the next single crochet. So there should always be 1 skip stitch behind, and that's your post and a DC, and a post and a DC, post, DC, post, DC. That was a front post. We just continue on. To the end of the row. Well, let's just check that. So I did 2 DC in the tops of the singles at the beginning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Oops. 22, which is the sequence, and then I've got 1 left over. $23. Hope that helps. Okay, so this is continuing from that first row that I did, which was starting with 2 DCs in the front post, which goes around the DC from the row below, then another DC, and then a front post which is around the DC from the row below. So I've single crocheted all the way back, chain 1. So row 7 says start with 1 DC, and and then a front post DC. So I'm going around the regular DC from that row. You just need to make sure you pull up your hook so you're keeping the same height. Then I'm going to do a DC in the next stitch, which is above where that front post DC is. That was a single crochet row, and then that's the DC should be above the front post below. So now I'm going to do a front post DC. So you should have a front post DC, a DC, a front post DC together. So your front post DC is always going to go around the DC of that row, which means it's always going to be in between the front post DCs of the rows before. So make sure that we do a DC in the next stitch, and then we can see that we've done our DC above the front post double crochet, and so now we've got 2 front post double crochets, and here's the DC. So we're going to go a front post around that one, and then double crochet, front post double crochet around that post, double crochet, front post double crochet, whoops, I'm running out of yarn here, sorry. So basically what that row 5 was saying is that your front post is always going to go around a DC. So when you've finished that row and come back with single crochets, the next time you do it, you're going to be doing front post. So row 5 says 2 DC, and then it'll bring you to this DC here, and your front post around that one. Does that all make sense? Fingers crossed it does make sense.